plans. His thoughts are different than ours. And the Bible says all things work together for good. I don't know what hardship you're in today or if you're in a hardship, but all things work together for good, and in everything give thanks. So I was thanking God for the hardships. I learned to walk those many years with sorrow and suffering. Because Don was sick for so many years, so much suffering and sorrow. He had something, he worked with the atom bomb, the explosions in the Enwetok in the 50s, where they were testing the atom bomb. He worked with the missile fuels. He worked with airplane fuels. He had something on his lungs. They could never find out what was wrong with him. He was sick a lot. They couldn't insure him because he had other physical problems. So I learned how to walk with sorrow and suffering and walk and talk with Jesus. And in those years, the Lord said, don't get a job. I want you to stay by your husband and stay with him. He needs you. It was long, sometimes really long. I went outside one morning. I was standing on the porch just looking up. I could leave him for a few minutes, and I looked up, and it was very, very cloudy. And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, those clouds, they're moving so slowly. And the Lord spoke back to me in my thoughts, yes, but they are moving. That was a lesson for me. Clouds don't last forever. There's always an end of the tunnel. I learned how to hear the voice of God. God never speaks to me audibly. It's in my thoughts. I can just think something. God answers me back. I was walking down Broadhead 30 years ago before all the houses were there. It was just a lonely, nice road with lots of wheat fields growing on the sides. And it was just so beautiful. I could watch them from the birth till they were full, and the wind would be blowing them back and forth. It would be beautiful. But one day I walked down Broadhead, and there was one field that was totally barren. And in my mind, I'm thinking, God, what a waste. Look at these fields over here. They're just beautiful, but this one is barren. There's nothing growing here. What a waste. Why did that farmer plant that field? And the Lord said, the field is resting. Lesson time. Now he's going to teach me another lesson. Okay, God, tell me about it. Why did he plant that field? He said, because the field is resting. It's soaking up the heat. It's soaking up the water. And in time, the farmer will plant it, and it will produce a crop. He said, walk out there and pick up some soil. I don't want to walk out there. It had been freshly plowed. I had tennis shoes on. I knew I was going to get my shoes full of earth. And he said, walk out into that field. So I walked down into that farmer's field, and he said, now scoop up some dirt. So I scooped up this dirt, and it's warm, and it's like it's moving, and it's like it's live. There's life in that soil, and it's falling through my fingers, and I start crying. I said, Lord, why am I crying over dirt, you know? He said, you're resting. I've set you apart, and in my season, in my timing, you will grow again, and you will flourish, and I will open doors for you, and you will minister once again. But now, for now, you need to take care of your husband. You took a vow. Obey your vows and fulfill them and take care of your husband. He needs you. I used to have to bathe him. He was really, really sad. And sometimes I wasn't real happy about it. And one morning the Lord said to me, I can't take a bath. Would you give me a bath? I said, yes, Jesus, I can give you a bath. So if it was that point on, I could sing and give my husband a bath and be singing and knowing that I was giving Jesus a bath. The Bible says, as much as you have done unto one of the least of these, you have done it unto me. What we do for one another, we do for Jesus. We are his hand extended. We are not our own. Once we come to Jesus Christ, we are not our own. He says we're bought with a price. What are we doing with Jesus? What are we doing for Jesus? God has a plan for you. God will provide for you. Mark 11, 23 and 24. Read those scriptures. It says, I have faith in God. Jesus answered, I tell you the truth. If anyone says to this mountain, go, throw yourself into the sea, and does not doubt in his heart, but believes that what he says will happen, it will be done for him. Therefore, I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you received it, and it will be yours. And when you stand praying, if you have anything against anyone, forgive him, so that your Father in heaven may forgive you. Do you have a need this morning? What are you believing God for? What have you asked God for? Matthew 18, 19, and 20 says, if any two of you would agree on earth as touching anything they would ask, it would be done for them of our Father in heaven. For where two are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst. We are many gathered here together in the midst this morning. And I'm going to stand down in the front, and I've asked Joyce if she would come and stand with me. And if you have a need this morning, as we're singing our closing hymn, would you you just come and we would just like to pray with you, lay hands on you, and just pray with you.